Yeah, that was in the Dynamo Club in Eindhoven, 1983, probably somewhere in the springtime, because you'll see in a minute that the makeup I'm wearing is not the one from the Melissa album, so this must be before we signed the deal with Roadrunner. But the songs we had at that time were very well known by the fans that we had in Eindhoven. They were hardcore at that time. And we'd been there before in '82, of course, recording the mini LP. And there is, of course, Kim Ruzz there, who was an absolute unique drummer. He had such a cool style. And but those were the days. There, a little club there, 300 people probably packed in there. They couldn't fit one more. There you can see that old makeup, which was from the mini LP, but was not featured on the Melissa album. So it could be the actual trip we took to Holland, where we did sign the contract with Roadrunner Records. That we did backstage at the Art Shock Festival, which could have happened here a few days before or after the show that we're watching right now. And definitely a bunch of young guys there, long time ago. Didn't know much about anything, but it's right around the time when we would have signed that deal for the Melissa album. And the song you're hearing now, of course, is Doomed by the Living Dead, which is from the mini LP, which you can see everybody in the audience, whenever you get the chance, they know every lyric, every word to it. Michael Denner over there on the left giving a nice solo. And there was a lot of things going on at that time. We of course had our deal with Rave On, but was exploring our options for going on, whether we wanted to stay with them or and that was the time when suddenly Roadrunner was interested. We had done the BBC Friday Rock Show, where we recorded at the BBC studios in London. You can see some you might see some hands here in a second. Yeah, that's definitely the old makeup. Not my favorite one, that's for sure, but that was the early days. Nice shirt from Kim Ruzz back there with the fringes. Good old 80s style. Wait till you see Michael Denner's leopard pants. That was the days there, that was the early 80s for sure. You see all the headbangers down there, they were so for real. They still are, of course, but they knew every single word. A little feedback from the PA system there. But this thing was obviously recorded with 3 different cameras at that time. I don't know what kind of deals or whatever there was about that footage, but I know that there's Hank and his flying V. But I know that Hank was actually given this version from some company. I can't remember where they were from, somewhere in Scandinavia. And these 3 camera angles they had put together, from what I understood, and had digitally enhanced it. And of course they couldn't use it for anything because Roadrunner has the rights to all the stuff. And when we heard that they were going to do the Melissa anniversary or their 25th anniversary, they wanted to release some of the benchmark albums that they had done in their early times, and one of them was the Melissa album. We're also gonna, of course, later on get the Abigail album with King Diamond. But right here you can see you can see what I see, of course. The band is playing. But yeah, those days there where we had done a BBC session for in London, where we had I think we recorded in 8 hours at the BBC studios, and someone else mixed the whole thing later and broadcast it on the Friday Night Rock Show, and it got such a cool response that it was rebroadcast later, and that I think is part of what created the stir and made Roadrunner aware of the band, and wanted to talk to us. And from then on, it was just when we got in with Roadrunner, it was an amazing difference, because when we started to actually record the Melissa album, we realized we had a lot more time than we had before. The mini LP that we did for Rave On Records was done in I think 2 days, recorded and mixed 4 songs, and limits were down to 1 backing vocal, and some of the solos had to be first takes because we were out of time. and then suddenly realizing with Roadrunner, I think we had 12 days actually to record the Milice album, and all the backing vocals and stuff that I had prepared already for the mini LP songs, I could finally realize with the songs we put on the Milice album, and that was such a big difference to be able to have all these tracks and more time to do a proper job. So that was a big difference. That album was recorded, of course, the Milice album in that was July '83. So that's why I think this stuff that you're watching is from the spring of '83. Here's Black Funeral, a song that did turn up on the Milice album, and that song they also know. I think for the fact that it was the first song that was ever released on vinyl in our entire career. We recorded it for, I think it was called Metallic Storm, a compilation album that someone in England put together, and we were invited to Hull, England, to record in this tiny micro studio, and we recorded 2 songs. The other one was Walking Back to Hell, which later turned into A Dangerous Meeting, but there's some rocking heads. But we were up there recording, and Black Funeral was actually released in a very early version, and I don't know, maybe that version is also on this album here. I'm not 100% sure, as one of the bonus tracks. But so that's why probably a lot of these people, or the fans there, they know that song already. And then we had demos as well that we recorded that time that was circulating heavily all over Europe, and also started to get into the US with some of it, you know. But yeah, that's Black Funeral. I think there is a point in this song, if I remember right, where the band is kind of losing it, and it's quite interesting to hear how we're trying to catch up with the huge mistake that comes up. Just try and listen here and see what comes up here. It might be good. Oh, there's someone with a bone there, but I bet it's not as real as mine. Here he comes, listen to this. Ooh. No one knows what to play like that. I think they caught it again here. Those are the things that happen live for some reason, you know. It's, yeah, one of the funny things that you can't tell from the audience what's going on up there, you know, who did what wrong. I have those situations sometimes where the words just escape me, you know, for one or another reason. It could be that I'm standing on the wrong side, and that was it, yeah, Black Funeral. There should be one more song coming up here. I'm pretty sure it's Curse of the Pharaohs. Didn't worry much about the voice there.
We're gonna continue with a song I'm sure none of you know. It's entitled Curse of the Pharaohs.
Someone's screaming in the background. But there is these things where when you're standing on stage and for some reason might not think too much about exactly where you are. If I stand on the side where guitarist is playing a solo, I must move over to the other side towards the very end of the solo. Otherwise, you know, sometimes all you get from that side is long, hanging, distorted feedback note, which doesn't give you a riff to sing to or a key to sing to, really. And therefore it's very important to be on that side where the rhythm guitar is starting to play the next verse. And that's usually the times when if I for some reason forget to be on the right side when a verse starts, I might not be able to hear what I'm supposed to sing to, and then you think that something that I screwed up, of course, you know, and it is a screw up, you can say, but it's not really that you can't sing or anything like that, but you really don't have anything to sing to at some point. A lot of things can happen on stage. that you don't see or understand from the audience. Sometimes you can't really hear yourself. Sometimes, especially with Mercyful Fate, when we played Satan's Fall, the long 12-minute song, was always being reminded by the other guys right before or in the break between whatever song was before it and then Satan's Fall, that please take your time. We need time to tune our guitars, because by the end of those 12 minutes, there's nowhere in between where you can like check your tuning, and they will slowly drift out of tune. It happened every single time we played the song. The hotter and the more humid a place would be, the more they would drift off. And towards the very end of Satan's Fall, where there's some very upbeat, very fast stuff, it's played single note guitars, and if they're a little off, man, I mean, you might even hear it in the audience, but I have to pick one of the two to sing to. And it doesn't matter as a vocalist what guitar you pick to sing to, if they're off each other. You will sound like you're off key, like you're singing false. And so it doesn't give you any choice there, and that's very problematic. I always hated getting to that point at the end of Satan's Fall, because I had to try and figure out who was in tune with who as we were going through the song. Is Hank in tune with Timi on the bass? Then I should probably go with them, and then forget Michael Denner if he's off tune with those two. Those are the pleasures of being a vocalist on stage. And Curse of the Pharaohs, But these versions here, Black Funeral that you heard before and Curse of the Pharaohs, they are very, very close to the versions that you would hear on the Melissa album. Whereas there is another version of Curse of the Pharaohs on some of the bonus tracks from the audio disc, and where you can hear there's a completely different version, a very, very early version of from one of our early demos, where there's some riffs that is not even in this song at this point. Where we do that a lot, as we rehearsed a lot. I think it was like 4 times a week at the early days, and we would rearrange songs over and over and over. And so I mean, there's a lot of stuff that developed, cut to pieces and developed into other songs, and that was Curse of the Pharaohs, the end of it. I'm done.